So last session, we spent a little bit of time in game and a relatively significant amount of time in real life, working out the various ways you had to heal and going about doing that. With all of you healed up, you went to have a look at the room to the south of that altar or sort of chapel you'd found yourselves in after the fight with the corpse lights. Had a little listen at the door and decided to have a look in there. You had previously been told by the Mitflits, named Scrappy, or at least named by your party as Scrappy, that was the throne room of Boss Strong, the leader of the Mitflits. Upon opening the door, upon Tunk opening it, it would appear that Boss Strong, the leader of the Mitflits, is either a scorpion or you had been misled in that information. There was a giant scorpion in that room who became quite aggressive quite quickly and quite effectively, thanks to what I thought was 2 crit hits was actually 3 crit hits in the first 4 rolls it made. Did a pretty good job at quickly bringing you all down to size. However, with some smart teamwork, a couple of hairy moments, K's 1 dice roll away from actual legitimate character death at one point, but we got there, all fine. And you were able to defeat the Scorpion. Had a little bit of a look round in that room. Came to the conclusion it seemed the Scorpion was being sort of held captive in that room, but there were signs that it was being fed and sort of looked after, or at least being given nourishment. You believe, one of you actually looked out the window then and found there was a small, rather crude ladder outside, coming up from some of the swamp up into the room, which you kind of, I think, as a team, assumed that was what was being used to throw some of this food in to feed the Scorpion. You decided to head back and speak to Scrappy post their betrayal or deception towards you. On the way, Bunk was able to find another secret door, the 3rd secret door they found so far in this campaign. On the other side of this secret door, a stone staircase leading down below ground. Bunk was rather excited by this and quite keen to sort of go down and see what was down there, but the rest of the party were much more of the opinion that a chance to rest and perhaps return to town, I think, was the general consensus, may have been a better choice considering the sort of state the party was currently in and the time of day. You then headed back into that main sort of hallway where you originally encountered the Mitflits and that giant maggot they were training and messing with, where you kind of expected to find Scrappy, as that was where you had last left them. But upon your arrival into the room, the Mitflit Scrappy was no longer present, which was where we left things. So we open up with your party, now including Fancy Party Token. Here returns to the hallway, and no sign of Scrappy where you left them.
What a dickhead.
Is this scaled for the size?
Roughly, but the character art didn't make it easy to lay out easily. Some people don't have legs in their character art, so yeah, it started off trying to be a really good like scaled thing, then turned out into, well, I'll get them all on there.
It's so tall, but I didn't know if it's about right. I think actually,
Ufred looks exceedingly small.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Ufred was actually that small or not.
No, I'm taller than the 2 of you.
You're taller than us.
I'm 4 foot.
That's that hair you've got.
There's a redesign coming at some point, probably.
It's a whole foot of hair, isn't it?
Mm.
Cool. We should wait 10 minutes.
I think having read the thing on wounded, it would be foolish of us not to wait 10 minutes. Basically, because if Tunk gets knocked out
He's just dead.
again, he's dead. So I would suggest that we should rest 10 minutes. I believe if because if you're on full hit points, then if you rest for 10 minutes, the wounded condition goes away. I think is what
If
it
you're
says.
on full hit points, yes.
Yeah. So the only person that doesn't apply to is Ethred, I think.
Yes.
Correct.
Is he by any chance immune to healing at the moment?
I don't believe so. No.
In which case, we should.
I'm only on wounded one. It's
Well, yeah, but I mean,
no
just
major issue.
for the sake of a roll,
yeah.
may as well. In fact, technically, I don't need to roll. I could just lay on hands, couldn't I?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you can lay on hands and everyone spends 10 minutes resting, and everyone's dropped their wounded condition, etc. So that seems.
Does it just drop by one when you spend that 10 minutes? Does it go completely?
Gone entirely, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Haven't we already been
feels well
doing laying hands on everyone for 10 minutes?
We have. We just didn't finish him, I think.
Yeah.
Pardon the expression. Except I don't think I managed to choose him. If you could apply those points to him, that would be. There we go.
Yeah.
And then if we just wait.
Everyone can get rid of their wounded status.
Yay.
So, yeah, I mean, while we're doing that, Tunk is, or Orin, it says pulling himself up to his full height, is saying, yeah, we should go back to the Atari and rest because we very nearly died twice. And this isn't safe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but it's probably safer underground.
You talk about those stairs, man.
Yeah.
This isn't some forest that we can just go exploring and finding mushrooms and leaves and whatever else you want. This is the real world, and people will really die here.
Pretty sure we're in a forest.
We can't. You can't just wander off somewhere.
Worked for me for the last insert number of years old I am. Years.
We need to prepare. We need to be ready. And then we can come back and we can find Boss.
Oh, so
Okay, what preparing do you want to do?
Well, haven't we got a rather, if you don't mind me saying, useless wand that we no longer have need of, that we could likely convince a patron of the nearby town to purchase from us for some amount of gold, and probably got a few other things, and we could look to maybe get some supplies?
Yeah, I need some supply. I'm not properly equipped for this. I
think we need to get you a bit of a bigger weapon, my friend.
I need some better armor. Yeah.
I'm not sure that little sword you've got's really gonna cut it. If you excuse the pun.
My plan is that we go back and I'll exchange this for a more appropriate weapon, and I'm gonna change the way. I've got to change the way that I think about fighting.
We could always look to put a rune of some kind to get your weapon imbued to make it a little stronger.
It's worth if we've have we got enough money to even think about that yet? Do we know anywhere that can do that?
Oh, I believe that there's places in town that can do that. No.
I think there might be. I think the Rixin would do it probably. She sells stuff.
You mean Rin?
Rin, I do. So let's go back and
I think so. I think we should head back and just stock up a little bit. Take a moment. I need to spend some time writing down my newest notes anyway. I've got some ideas for some songs, so.
and then I think we come back and we find Scrappy.
Yes, I do owe him a bit of a poke with the sword.
To be fair, I probably could also make us a few bits and pieces. Could probably tie a feather to a monkey's paw, and I'm sure that'll help us somehow.
Can I pick a leaf and pass it to Bunk off myself?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, give Bunk a little leaf.
I will stow it in my pouch of random shit.
That's its official name at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
Now-
Well,
now-
no. Pouch of potentially magical random shit.
Bunk, be careful with that, because I heard a story, and apologies, Tree, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that leshy leaves were imbued with some kind of deep nature magic. So you should keep that safe. It's very important.
I will. Sorry, my pouch of potentially magical random shit is basically my most important possession.
Oh, okay, good. I assume. Sorry, I thought you were just kind of throwing it in a bag for out of politeness. My bad.
Absolutely not. No. This is one of my most important things I own now.
So you guys
So
plan to head back to town, yeah?
I think so.
Okie dokie.
Do we need to drag all the way across the map?
Nah, that's fine. I can assume you can remember the way back. It's all good.
Remember the
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Whilst I do downtime, I might need to read the rules up on how the tablet works. So I must do that for a second.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So you guys, as you know, the gauntlet itself is only sort of about 20 minutes walk from the town, so you're not too far away from town. As you make your way out of the keep and start heading back along the same path you took to reach it, you actually spot some. You're about sort of halfway between the keep and the town itself. When you spot some movement up ahead of you. You're out of the sort of worst of the sort of swamp and the fog fen now, just kind of into some of the forest on the outskirts of town. And there is a very, very large creature walking on the path up ahead of you. To most of your party, this creature stands at around sort of 5 to 6 times your height. You can see there's a wood giant walking up ahead of you in the same direction you are. Looks like that it's heading on the path down towards town. On the back of this wood giant, you can see it looks like a backpack, but it's actually you can sort of spot it's actually like a large wooden cabinet. Just seems to be strapped to the back of this wood giant. And then you spot walking, not even walking alongside, actually walking just between the legs of the giant, just walking underneath it, a smaller creature, similar to height of the of your party, I guess, other than UK's. A small creature with a kind of slightly battered looking black top hat. They're sort of walking about a minute ahead of you on the path. And you spot actually the smaller creature holds its hand up for a second and sort of taps on like the just below the knee of the giant. And the giant comes to a stop. And you see this smaller creature stops for a second, sort of cups a hand to their ear, and then turns round and sees your group behind on the path. You notice at this point this is a goblin wearing a battered top hat, a really bright blue coloured bow tie, and sort of quite what look to be relatively fine clothes, but also extremely well worn fine clothes. This suit probably at some point would have been quite suitable for a fine dining or party of some type, but it's clearly been worn by this goblin for quite some time, and looking at the various rips, tears and stains across the suit has probably not been changed, removed or washed in quite some time. The goblin turns around as they spot you, your party further down the path, stops, takes off the top hat, and sort of quite over the top, sort of swoops it down, circles it down, and bows in your direction. Then calls out, "Legitimate Jack, at your services, sirs."
I also just bow my head slightly in response, a bit unsure. I'm not sure. I mean, this is a weird sight, right? This is not.
Yeah.
This is not an everyday occurrence kind of thing.
No. Goblins. Goblins. In dwarf are. Sorry, bear with me one sec. They are not. They're not outright sort of evil or uncivilized creatures. Goblins can live in towns and cities in Dwarf if they choose to kind of adhere to the local sort of laws and traditions, etc. But a goblin in top hat accompanied by a wood giant, not an everyday sight. No, certainly not. The wood giant itself, again. They're not mythical creatures, but certainly not something you see every day. Probably not even something you see every month. Pretty much only found if you kind of go into the wilds outside of the more sort of civilized areas.
Okay.
And the goblin calls over and says, I suppose you'll be headed to Otari for the Founders' Day festival.
Yes, of course. As is anyone now at this time of the year, you know.
Splendid, and you look like mighty adventurers. And you see, he looks over each of the group, looks over at Tunk and says, "Oh, fine shield, sir, fine shield."
Bows.
And he clears his throat. He goes, and as he does so, the wood giant slowly gets down to its knees, sits down onto the ground, so that large wooden cabinet just sits down next to him. And again, he coughs, and he taps on the side of the wood cabinet, and the doors just sort of spring open, and a small roll of carpet just rolls its way out for a few feet in front of it. And you can see this cabinet is full of what appear to be the wares of this, what appear to be a travelling merchant of some type, who quickly goes into a very well prepared speech as he introduces himself. "Legitimate Jack at your services, adventurers. I am here to serve you with some of the most rarest and powerful relics that one could find and require for their travels through the dangerous swamps around Otari. I assume you will be needing assistance in procuring such items."
Possibly.
Well, between you and I, let me tell you, there's been quite a rise in the spooky swamp lights in this area, will-o'-wisps and the like. I'm sure you would have seen them if you spent any time around here. And that means that at any time, one could be ambushed or caught off guard. Which is exactly why, and he points over at Kays and says, exactly why you, sir, need a ring of danger sense. And he pulls out this fine, sparkling golden ring with a ruby gem on it, which he holds out and says, "And for this, only 3 gold." And he looks over at Kays. Well?
No.
I don't know. Where do I check my money? Oh, there. They nod.
Orin sort of turns to Bunk and says, "Think that's really magic?"
Oh, you may be muted.
Who?
I am.
Charlie, Alec.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say, let me see, and I'll try to hold my hand out to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he even, as you do, he passes it over and puts it into your hand and says, "Please inspect away, sir. You will see it is a true ring of danger sense, of much use to keep you on your toes and be aware of your surroundings at all times."
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you do so. When you do, you do get a reading. This is definitely a magic item. In fact, you are close enough to the collection, the wares of the legitimate Jack here, that a large number of you'll get a large number of pings. There are a lot of magical items that this particular merchant is carrying.
I will pass on the fact that I'm assuming I can't tell whether it actually is a ring of whatever it was. Because
Not without spending some time to identify it. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that it's definitely magic. But I don't know what it does. Does something. Probably pretty cool. So
It will. Anytime you're in danger, it will make sure you're aware of it.
Kays gives them 3 gold.
Tremendous.
is that a down payment?
Yeah. Have you've taken 3 gold off? I assume.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh, is it only 3 gold?
Yeah.
I missed how much it was. Wow. Okay, fine.
Seems very cheap,
This is-
doesn't it?
This is not D&D. Because in D&D and items like that, if it is truly what he says it is, it would be like 500 gold or something ridiculous.
Why can I not?
Although he is a goblin, so I'm not sure they're actually trustworthy. Maybe they are in dwarf.
There you go. I've added your gold ring to your your was it ring of danger sense case.
Very
Yeah.
cheap.
Passes it over to you. Yeah, you have yourself a ring of danger sense there, Kays. And as he sort of takes the 3 gold for you and he flips it up slightly, leans forward, pulls open like the breast pocket of his jacket, which the coins fall into. As he closes it up, he says, "Pleasure. Perhaps I could offer something else. How about a... Why don't you tell me, what is it you as a group do day to day? Do you need weaponry? Do you need ways of finding traps ahead of time? Perhaps amulet of flame detection?" No, well,
It's not really sounding
Oh,
like.
is stealth your kind of thing? Would you like to be unseen?
Do we strike you as the most stealthy of individuals?
Well, I can help with that. and he reaches up into the cabinet and pulls down what appears to be a set of bagpipes.
Oh yeah, that's inconspicuous. We like this.
He pulls them down and tells you, these are the bagpipes of invisibility. When played, they will make you invisible to all around.
Yeah? Did you show us?
Well, I'm not the most talented of musicians, but certainly.
I mean, I'm happy to give it a go for you if you want. I'm quite the musician.
I will entrust you with a demonstration. And he passes over the bagpipes to you, Fred.
Phenomenal. I play the bagpipes.
Make a performance check for us.
Bloody hell.
While he's performing, I want to watch the goblin closely.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I don't know if you played the bagpipes before, but you seem to pick it up relatively quickly.
I've played a flute. It's basically a flute with a bag, isn't it? Same thing.
As soon as Ufrid begins playing on the bagpipes, there's this ear-piercing noise of bagpipes. But they live up to Jack's promise. And Ufrid, in front of your eyes, becomes invisible. The rest of the party, you can no longer see Ufrid or the bagpipes. You can hear them. You can absolutely hear them. But you can neither see Ufrid or the bagpipes. And as soon as Ufrid stops for breath, he becomes visible immediately.
I can see a problem with them.
I beg to differ, sir. They work as advertised.
They do, but it strikes me that they would only be useful for sneaking up on something that was deaf.
And you've just exactly described their best use case, in which case you can clearly see their value, sir.
I'll give you 2 silver for them.
I do not wish to upset or ruin our blossoming relationship here, but that is surely undercutting the value of such a fine item.
Well, this is how this
give you 4.
works, doesn't it? Is I offer low, you offer high, and we meet in the middle. So
I'll give you 1 more copper than he will offer.
We are some way from the middle, sirs. I'm sure you can understand an item like this is. This has been enchanted by some of the finest magicians you'll find. This is fine workmanship. Even the instrument alone would be worth more than that. Let's call it 5 gold pieces.
2.
2 gold pieces?
Yeah.
Deal. His hand goes straight out.
Gold is like massive in this world, isn't it? Gold is a significant amount.
So in general, an average worker would earn 1 gold piece a week. So it's a week's wages to a normal person.
Cool.
So yeah, it's relatively valuable. Yeah.
Yeah, as I'm like holding these bagpipes because they are nonsense and I want them. I know they're useless, but I need them. Does it feel like, I don't know, can I get a vibe for like they feel enchanted, but does it feel like it's like a bit of a temporary or fleeting enchantment, like it might maybe not be permanent? Or
You'd have to spend some 10 minutes identifying them.
that makes sense. Fuck it, worth 2 gold. Have 2 gold.
Nice.
Worth it. What else you got for me? I like spending money. Have you got any crowns? I feel like I'd suit a crown.
A crown. And you see, he sort of looks around and goes, well, not quite, but perhaps. How about a cloak? I have here this fine, and he reaches in again, pulls out this rather quite vibrantly green, almost like a lime green coloured cloak. Looks like it's almost like a velvet. Looks like quite a very fine material. Looks quite beautiful, actually. And he swoops it around, places it round his own neck, and he stands there quite happily, quite smugly almost, as he tells you, "This, sirs, is the cloak of billowing."
Yes! Somebody needs this. This is possibly the strongest
And as he
magic
stands
item.
there and announces
in the
it to
world.
you notice the cloak does billow quite dramatically.
One of us needs this. And I think it's the tree.
What?
This
Yes.
is it's like the strongest magic item in Dungeons and Dragons.
The tree has got 7 silver.
You heard the tree. We'll give you 7 silver for it.
Is this tree saying that out loud?
You said that we give the tree. Tree has 7 silver and a few potions.
A darn shame, sir. I couldn't go lower than 7 silver. That sounds like a fine deal.
I will pass over my 7 silver.
Well, I've effectively found a way to get you guys to spend money, I guess.
Yeah, give us fucking useless nonsense. We want it. This is great.
Winterberry just believes Uthred that he should own this
It's
cloak.
very important that one of us owns this cloak, and I think it should be you, Tree.
Okay. I will buy this cloak for 7 silver.
Nice.
The question is, what fucking twist is there on that ring that Case has just bought? What did he claim it was again?
That is a
Danger.
ring of danger sense.
Ring of danger sense, right.
It probably only works when you get punched in the face.
It alerts you of danger 1 second before it happens.
You guys are negative. It'll be fine.
Do you also buy magic items, my friend? Or do you just
Absolutely.
sell?
I do not create these myself. I'm a trader of items.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you have something you are looking to unload yourselves of?
Well, I don't know. Gang, what do we think about having a valuation on some of our wares from this fine fellow?
Well, we should probably get like valuation from 3 places before we decide to sell, shouldn't we?
Probably. That's the sensible way to do it.
How about I save you your time and I give you free valuations for each item?
Yeah, no.
This guy gets it. Well, we found a wand, did we not? Who has the wand on them? I can't remember.
I think it stayed in the party stash after the confusion of who it would be best on.
So Orin's got the wand. Good to know.
I haven't got it.
Orin, show him the wand.
I still haven't got it.
Well, one of us has.
Okay, from the party stash. Okay, we'll get out the wand.
And you see he looks quite excited. He has to look over and he goes, what kind of wand is that? What kind of spell does it have within it?
I believe it's a wand of heal.
It is indeed.
Oh, most exciting. There'd be many people willing to pay a great deal for such an item. I would gladly trade this with you. Perhaps you would consider... Well, it's only fair that I named my price for the items I was selling. You tell me the value of this wand to yourselves.
I mean, I don't think the value of the wand to us is the important thing. The value of the wand to your buyers is what's
50
important.
gold.
I was going to say 60, so 50. My friend says makes a good deal. He's undercut me there. Perfect. You'll easily get 60, 75 gold for this, reselling it.
I do not question you for one moment, sir. However, it has been some time since we were last in a town And funds are low, as you understand, I'm sure. We've seen better days, myself and Jody here. Perhaps a trade. Perhaps you'd consider. And he calls up to the giant. He says, Jody, where's the trap-finding chicken? And the giant doesn't even turn around, just reaches its hand over to the top of the cabinet and pulls out a chicken that was just sat on top of the cabinet and drops it down alongside Jack, who tells you, this chicken is extremely trained at detecting traps, although I must warn you, she is of single use.
I mean, when you say it's trained to find traps, in what way?
You head down into a dungeon, explorers like yourselves. You find yourselves in a corridor, and you rightly think to yourselves, this must be trapped. Which is where Jemima here comes to her best use. You let her loose. Let her go do her job. She'll head down. And if the trap finds her, her use is, how we say, expended. But you are warned at that point, sirs.
So what you're saying is that she'll run ahead and just trigger things without thinking about it.
Absolutely.
We've already got one of those.
Yeah, what you're saying is it's a chicken. That's what a chicken does.
Fine. How about... He pulls out, you see, he looks at it, he sort of rifles through a few items in the cabinet. And he pulls out what just looks like a satchel. No real sort of decoration on it or anything like that. It's quite a simple looking leather satchel. He brings it back and says, perhaps you'll be needing to bring items back from your travels. A spacious pouch may be of use to yourselves. This item, though it appears to be a simple bag, it is actually a doorway to another dimension. You could stow a great many items in here, and the wearer would never even know they were carrying the weight.
What dimension?
That's a fine question, sir. What dimension would you like it to be?
Fourth.
And so it will be.
Wait, all of time's in there. No, third dimension, up.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't really truly understand which dimension it is. All I know is I've carried a great deal of items in here. Before old Jody here was working for me, this was my means of carrying my wares around. Never let me down. The only true downside is anything you want to place into it or retrieve from it will have to fit into the opening of the satchel. But you'll see it's rather deep, and he picks up a long stick off the ground, places the satchel down, opens it up, and he just starts pushing the stick in, and it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and then he lets go, it just disappears into the bag.
Can you put living things in there?
I must say, I've never truly tried, sir.
Haven't you got something?
Stick.
Why don't you try it with a trap detector?
Why don't you just try it? You look like a brave fellow. You could probably get in there.
I'm just a merchant, sir, not an adventurer like yourselves.
Well, I'm happy to hold your hat for you whilst you do.
I've got much to be attending to in town. I wouldn't want to miss the celebrations.
You can store your trap detector.
Perhaps we should bring our negotiations to a close for now.
Oh, fair enough.
I tell you what, if you change your mind on that spacious pouch and you want to do a trade for your wand, you'll be able to find me in town for at least the next few days. I think we were considering waiting around for the elections, but, well, Jodie has a bit of the wanderlust about her. She doesn't like to stay still for long.
Fair. Well, we'll look you up.
Or perhaps, at least having done business with one another, we could at least accompany each other into town.
Okay.
I look around to see if anyone seems outwardly against that with their facial expression.
No, it seems
I'm
okay.
very much for this.
Yeah, my green brother.
Yeah, absolutely. No issue at all. Please travel with us.
Wonderful. And you see, he picks up the satchel and he places it down quite carefully back into the cabinet. And he looks around and goes, Jemima! Picks up the chicken and just throws it into the cabinet. Rolls up the carpet and closes the doors. And just taps on it and says, Jodie, to town! And the wood giant slowly gets back up onto her feet and begins walking ahead. He begins telling you that he travels from town to town, most in the south coast of Dwarf. Doesn't like to venture too far north. Had some very unfortunate... let's not talk about it. The past troubles are the past. However, recently, travelling has got a little more dangerous in this area. The lights in the swamp, the willow-wisps have become increasing in their number, and it's rather off-putting. It does not bother me, obviously, but Jodie is rather scared of the things. I'm sure you'll understand. Yeah, and as you carry on walking your way into town, he talks a little bit to you about just about trade in general. He tells you that he visits Atari relatively regularly. They kind of treat it as part of their circuit of sort of stops. They probably come back to town every few months. But he tells you they always make a point of arriving in time for the Founders Day festival. It's always an exciting sort of time in the town. And something that they make sure they're here for. They always want to be a part of. As you arrive back into town, you can see the town itself is quite, even as it's sort of late afternoon, early evening. It's quite bustling with excitement and sort of it's just like quite an energy in the air. There's a lot of movement and excitement going on. He comes back into town and he tells your party that well, I best be going to meet Rin now, but it was a pleasure travelling with you. I'm sure our paths will cross again. And he begins heading over towards Rin's towards the tent, that canopy where you encountered her previously. What would you guys like to do? Do you want to follow over? Have you got other things you'd like to do in town?
I think we were after getting a bit of a valuation for this wand that we've got.
Yeah.
And I think Rin's probably as good a place as any to maybe go to do that. And then we're finding somewhere to stay for the night, right?
Oh yeah, I've got no money now. I spent all me money.
Yeah, but you have a cloak that billows, so...
Yeah, you can follow Jack and Jodie over towards Rin. As they sort of head over, you see Rin comes out of that sort of open air tent that she has, and quickly comes over, and you see she speaks with Jack as he arrives quite excitedly, and then she looks past and she sees your group, and she sort of gestures for you to come over, and she says, Jack says he met you already. How fortunate for my friends, all of my friends, and you, Ufrid, to all be here together. This is most wonderful. This is great. And Jack says you have been buying some of his items. That's just great.
And I try and use the cloak.
Yeah, you put the cloak on, Winterberry, and it billows dramatically when you put it on. Rin looks over at you with the cloak on. She says, "Oh, Winterberry, that is most beautiful. You look resplendent. Is this one of your wares, Jack?" And he nods. Can I get, purely because I think, who was it earlier said they wanted to be looking out particularly at Jack? Was it Bunk?
Me.
Oh, was it Tunk? Make a sense motive roll for me.
That's exactly the sort of thing I was thinking. Oh no, it's over here. Here you go.
Nice. There's a slight sense of unease about Jack as Rin. You notice as in particular as she sort of asks Winterberry if that is one of Jack's items. You notice there's a slight, almost like a slight gulp. He seems a little bit unsure of that, and he sort of interjects quite quickly. He says, yes, one of my fine ones, but bought quite cheaply at a very, very fair price. A most fair price, Rin. She
7 silver.
She looks over, as you say, 7 silver, Winterberry. She turns and she looks at you, and then she turns and looks at Jack, and she goes, "That does sound like an exceedingly fair price, Jack." And she, again, based of your sort of your roll tongue, she seems quite genuine in that. It's probably safe to assume this is not a massively valuable magic item. If anything, the cloak itself is probably more or less covers the cost. It's probably not a terrible transaction.
That makes sense.
Rin then turns her attention to your group as a whole, and she says, "How you headed off to the Gauntlet? How did it go? Have you dealt with the issue? It won't be lighting up anymore, I hope."
We have not. We have started to deal with it. We need to investigate further.
And what have you found so far? Ghosts? Skeletons? Zombies?
No zombies, I don't think.
But ghosts and skeletons?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, all in one.
Yeah, that is exactly it. And at the heart of it all, mitflits.
Wonderful creatures. Absolutely wonderful little creatures. Quite self-loathing. Not fond of oneself. Very little self-respect. Ufrid, you'd get along with them well. Wonderful little creatures.
Now that you mention it, did make a friend.
Yeah.
Oh. You've befriended these mitflits, have you?
I hate them.
I think
They betrayed me.
we need to talk to them to find out what they know.
When one is low on confidence and uncertain in themselves, it's very easy to project your feelings onto others, Ufrid.
If only we had the muscular Ufrid.
If only indeed. I've been longing for his arrival, but he is sadly deceased. But it's fine.
Have you
We
have you
have
had confirmation of that?
The harrow was all the confirmation we needed.
Oh, right, yes, sorry, my bad.
Well, you should rest. You have all travelled here to be here and to assist in your own ways. And you have obviously had quite a strenuous day in the Gauntlet. Perhaps it would be best to take some time this evening to partake in the celebrations in town. Today is the precursor to the Founders' Day. It is tradition in Otari that we celebrate the date of the founding of the town by the Rose Guard, but it is tradition that 1 week prior we have a celebration of itself, almost to celebrate the celebration, I suppose. It'd be a good chance for you to ingratiate yourself with the locals, to tell them about yourselves, to let them know that everything is in hand with the Gauntlet, and we have the finest adventures available, and their bardic friend to assist.
I wonder perhaps if you have already arranged accommodation for us, and if not, is there an inn that you would recommend?
There's no need to arrange accommodation. You are most welcome to stay here in my tent with me. You're not scared of the open air, are you?
No.
In which case, it's fine. However, if you're scared of a little outdoor camping, then I suppose there are a few places in town I could recommend you could stay. It probably depends on the type of experience you're looking for. You could always go speak to Brelda at the Rowdy Rockfish, but it's very serious, boring type of woman. You know the type. Not much exciting. Alternatively, perhaps you could speak to Yinya's Mara at the Cook's Nook. I'm sure her and her fellow members of the Osprey Club would be most keen to provide you with room and board at a fair price.
Shall we?
I could point you in her direction if you would like to begin your time there.
Yes.
She gives you directions to the Crook's Nook. It is a tavern and bar that actually sits on the stone bridge that goes over the river, right down by the mouth of the river into the bay, at the bottom of the town. She tells you the Crook's Nook is one of the more lively locations in town. Never boring in there. She does warn you, just as a friendly note, as you're not locals to town. I would mind your pockets whilst you're in there. But if you abide by Yinya's Mara's rules and ingratiate yourselves, then I'm sure nothing will be stolen from you after at least your second night.
Perhaps we should look for somewhere quieter.
No.
Less handsy.
Rin quickly interrupts. She says, No. Yinya's Mara will be a wonderful contact for you to have. You should definitely begin there.
We've got your tent.
Or you are most welcome to stay here, all of you.
Even Ephred.
I've said it now to all of you. Do you want to head to the Crook's Nook, or do you want to...
I think, I think we should probably, head to the Crook's Nook, or at least out of Rin's earshot, and have a little conversation.
Okay.
So, what are we going to do? What do people think? Do we stay at the Crook's Nook and learn more about Atari?
Are we going there now? Or are we there now in theory, or are we... So just somewhere around
You
the
guys
corner.
can have a I think you wanted to step away from Rin's, didn't you? So you guys are, I guess, just walking through town.
If we go there now, I think there's no reason we can't grab a drink and check the place out.
Okay.
I for one, am a big fan of inns. Support your looking innkeepers.
Well, let's.
I should say.
That's true. Yeah, I would agree with my brother. I would be interested in popping into perhaps to Blades for Glades, which happens to be on the way.
Yeah.
To organise the some armour, or actually to organise a weapon swap.
Yeah.
And possibly buy some armour.
Okay. Yeah, as you guys discuss, you sort of head down, and you can see up ahead. You can see a sign for what is clearly a sort of blacksmith's. You can see the sign hangs there, reads Blades for Glades. As you walk in, there is a human male who looks almost exactly like that. A human male is in this establishment currently. Looks like he's looks like he's probably stopped working for the day. You can see there's a few sort of work benches around the room, sort of dotted, but it seems like the furnace has sort of been put out for the night. You can see it's kind of like there's still a bit of heat coming off it, but it's sort of cooling down. As he sort of hears some movement behind him, he turns around and he goes, sorry, I don't have time right now. It's a very business night. Hey, I assumed you were locals. You're visitors. You're here for the festival, I assume.
Yes. I'm here specifically. I was hoping that you would be able to sell me a weapon. I'm looking to trade in perhaps this short sword, and I was hoping to be able to pick up a Morning Star.
He quickly he goes, show us then, and holds his hand out for this short sword.
I hold out my short sword, which I've cleaned at least, but is used and not very exciting.
Yeah, he sort of takes it off your hand. He has a look over and goes, whoever made this should be ashamed of themselves. Poor workmanship. It's like it's been pretty heavily used. I certainly would have maintained it better myself. I can give you something for it. And you're after what? A Morning Star? Well, we normally sell a Morning Star at 1 gold. I mean, I can give you something for this sword, but it's not great work. How about the sword? The sword and 4 silver, and you get yourself a Morning Star.
That sounds like an excellent deal. I will certainly take that. And do you happen to have any studded leather armor?
He does indeed. Yes.
Have I got? I'll just check. I've got enough money to pay for it.
In fact, I believe you guys might be able to see what he has in stock.
Yeah, he does have a
We can.
shop.
I've spent the last 5 minutes looking through his shop.
Ah, okay,
So-
there we go.
So yeah. I mean, Orin spends a bit of time looking around and basically comes back with a Morning Star and a small suit of studded leather armor.
Can I sell him my rapier?
You can certainly, yeah.
It's just my bog standard one. I don't need it because I got the +1 rapier. So
Yeah, totally.
is it? Did you get half the value back?
Yeah.
I'll
You'll
delete
get a
it
gold for
and
a
add a
rapier,
gold.
Yeah.
I
So I'll give you
will
a Morning
happily
Star quick.
if you give me a Morning Star and some studded leather, I would happily pay 4 gold for that. or three gold for the studded leather as well, and just pay 4 gold. I will give him my
Oh, the town looks pretty.
Was there anything you would studded leather armor?
yeah studded leather armor, because that
Nice.
seems to be about the best I can.
Can you not wear like medium or heavy armor?
I can wear medium and heavy, although I don't currently have a requirement for it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So I take penalties and stuff. I
Oh,
mean, I
Tunk.
could. So
If you're paying 4 silver for your Morningstar, you are actually a little short on that studded leather armor, I believe.
am I? Oh, that's always possible.
Looks like you have 2 gold and 8 silver.
If it does.
Oh, I chuck you the gold I just got from my rapier.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's very kind.
It's only 2 silver you need, right?
Yeah, 2 silver. Yeah.
Yeah, let me do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take my gold back.
How does one make this happen?
Right at the
Just
top.
let the-
Right at the top on your inventory, there's just a
Oh.
plus and minus button for adding and removing coins.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Lovely.
Right.
In that case, you can have yourself some studded leather armor, sir.
Excellent.
The coins doesn't do change. It's really annoying.
When you remove stuff, when you are doing it, there's a thing you can click that says remove value, not specific type.
Hmm.
Oh,
Might
it's
be
all
bug.
investment, I see. Oh,
No. Oh no, don't worry. Oh, now he's added silver. It just took a while for it to do the maths.
It's all good.
Cool. No. It didn't work the first time. It's a bit buggy.
it's a bit better.
Yeah, that's buggier than the old system that did the same thing.
Yeah, so yeah, he sells you some studded leather armor and a Morningstar.
I buy that and adjust stuff and start considering how differently to carry it and use it.
Was there anything you keep in your leather armor?
No, I've got rid of the leather. I've got rid of the leather armor.
I mean, you can totally sell it to him if you want. He'll buy it from you.
Yeah.
He'll get you some
Oh,
more
I
money
just
back.
dumped it.
Yeah,
how
it's
much-
worth
how
2
much
gold.
money was it?
You'll get 1 gold for it.
I'll take a gold back for that if he's willing
Yeah,
to do that.
cool. Yeah, add one to your inventory. It's fine. So he finishes this transaction, sort of buys your sword and your armor off you, exchange it for a Morningstar and some studded leather armor. And he sort of looks around. He says, "Look, glad we could do business. Do any of you else need anything? Because I've got something quite important to get on with."
Yeah, sorry. One of those, please.
And you see he sighs a little.
I just point to one of the small bundles of tools that are by the side of the counter, and I buy a repair kit from him.
Yeah, nice.
How do I buy it?
I think you guys. I just did it for Phil. I think actually, if you drag it from the shop to your character, I think it will just do it and charge you for it. I probably should have got Phil to check that before I just.
Yeah, that worked. That worked. And as I'm grabbing and putting it on the counter, I'm getting the sling bullets just like on a display on the counter. And I grabbed 10 sling bullets as well.
Cool.
A little pack of them. Yeah.
Right, are we done? I really need to be getting on.
I think we're done.
Yeah, I think we're good. Thank you.
Great. Yeah. And he seems quite dismissive. There's quite a. He's not outwardly rude as much as he's just not very patient. Not possibly not much of a people person. As a general quick read of your interaction with him. as you sort of go to leave and head out of the door, there is a sort of 15, 16, sort of middle teenage years female, almost past exactly as you guys will walk out, walks past and is walking into the room, and you hear as she walks in, she calls out, Dad, are you ready or what? Winterberry, you recognise this is the same girl who saw you and your snowman friend when you first arrived in Atari earlier today. Doesn't seem to be paying a lot of attention to your group as she just walks past. Doesn't really seem to spot you at all.
And I just make my cape blow.
Oh,
And
it dramatically billows. She stops. She sees it as the billowing sort of catches the corner of her eye. She stops and she turns around and goes, the bush bought himself a coat. Amazing. And she walks into the room, closes the door. As we are an hour into the session, and Kays, you were so willing to just immediately engage with that lovely merchant, you can have a hero point.
Yay!
Yeah, what did you guys want to do now? You want to carry on down to the Crook's Nook, was it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you carry on heading down through the streets. You can see there is actually there's a lot going on. It's almost like it looks like there is a festival going on in town. That you can see a number of the businesses look to still be open for the evening. The square, the town square, which normally houses the market, is actually seems to be full of people sort of celebrating, talking amongst themselves. There seems to be some sort of games being played. There's also a sort of small makeshift stage has been put up in the middle of the town square, you can see. You sort of walk past this as it's happening, you sort of carry on heading down, and you find yourselves outside of the Crook's Nook. It's just sat on the bridge towards the south of town. As you sort of open up the sort of large wooden door and sort of head in, you can see immediately there's a decent number, about 12 to 15 people inside of this tavern, all sort of drinking. It's quite loud in there. You can see a lot of them. There's a group of sort of 4 or 5 all gathered round one table, sort of quite loudly shouting and smashing some fists on the table quite excitedly. As soon as you open the door, just directly as soon as you open, on your left hand side, there is the bar, and there is a human female stood behind the bar. As soon as you walk in, she says, "Evening, folks. You must be here looking for a room, I assume, staying for the festival?"
Yeah, a few days at least.
Well, you've come to the right place. This is, if you don't mind me saying, probably the liveliest location in town. So you'll be looking for one shared room, or...
How much is a room? How much would one room be for all of us?
One room for the lot of you. 2 silver for the night?
I think
If...
that's okay with me.
Yeah. She sort of she'll take 2 silver from you for a large shared room. And she says, part of the stay, first drink for everybody is on the house as part of the stay. Grab yourselves a table. I'll bring something over. You see, she starts sort of pouring. Looks like there's not a great selection of drinks. It looks like it's pretty much a case of some kind of homemade ale or water, essentially. She brings over and places down on the table that you guys sort of sit yourselves at a number of mugs, and then just a large pitcher of water and a twice the size large pitcher of ale, and says, "Come to the room, make yourselves welcome." And she immediately pulls up a sixth chair and sits down at the table with you. And she says, "Name's Yinyas Mera. I've been running the Crook's Nook here for years. What are your names?"
That's Tunk.
Orin.
Tunkorin.
Call him Tunk. He prefers it.
Tunk.
That's what he is to his friends and family.
And you? That's not clear who I'm talking to, is it? And she nods. She nods at Bunk.
Oh, yeah, I said my name.
Oh yeah.
I said I'm Bunk. He's Tunk.
Nice. And Leshy, we don't get many of your type in here. Do you even drink?
I drink water.
Yeah, well,
My name is Windberry Frost. Would you like to know about your Lord and Saviour, Jack Frost?
no, not truly. No. She looks over at Ufrid and says, "Well, somebody brought a looker with them. Who's this handsome devil?"
I've already told you my name is Windberry Frost.
I meant the gentleman next to you.
Oh.
Your name, sir?
Mine?
Well, there's only one handsome man in this group.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm surrounded by delightfully handsome people. But I'm Uthred Descender. You may have heard of my music.
And you? And she points over at the kitsune.
Yeah, they don't talk.
She turns to the rest of your group and says, "What's wrong with her? Is she quiet?"
Our colleague Kay's does not speak.
You know they're called K's.
No. I think they wrote it down.
Person.
I think Kay's wrote it down when you initially encountered.
I think so as well.
What language did they write it down in, like?
Common is the get out clause.
It's been amazing if they wrote one we didn't actually understand.
Okay, well, and there's a shout goes up from that other table that had the group round it. A rather loud shout goes up. Somebody starts sort of cheering, and the rest of the group you can see look a little bit disappointed. She turns around and goes, that he keeps on winning. He keeps on winning. And she looks around to your group and says, well, we've made our acquaintances. You're here for the night. Maybe you'd like to participate in a round.
Oh, what are they playing?
Well, this is it's a game that I sort of picked up in my younger days when I was more of a traveller, I suppose. But it goes by many names. Around here, we just call it. Well, we've just been calling it Roll of the Osprey. It's very simple. It's a game of, say, a mix of luck, skill, and maybe just a little bit of bravery. Traditionally, we say 5 silver buy-in each, but perhaps if you are unsure, we could start small stakes and go over 1 silver each.
I'm normally up for a game. What about the rest of you?
Thing is not wise.
Mm.
I didn't say it was wise.
Perhaps I'll explain the rules, and you'll see there's nothing to fear. It's just a simple dice game. This is a means of passing the time and maybe exchanging a little bit of coin to see that the most skilled players walk away. It's fairly rewarded. There are 4 dice for each player, and she places down a D6, a D8, a D10, and a D12. She goes, simple maths, 6-sided, 8-sided, 10-sided, and 12-sided. Each player will buy into the game and roll their D6 in secret, at which point the choices are simple. You can fold and choose that you're out for the round. You can choose to raise the stakes if you believe your roll is of high value, or you can call there and then. Anyone that folds is out of the game. If anyone decides to raise, everyone gets the chance to match that to stay in the game. Or if somebody wishes to call, we will reveal the dice, and whoever has the highest total takes the pot. If, however, nobody wishes to call, we'll roll the next dice in secret and add that to the total, and carry on until somebody is brave enough to reveal their dice and see who has the highest roll.
Sounds like fun. Come on, Oren, you can play a game of dice with us, it's fine.
It sounds like a foolish way to spend time.
What else are we going to do for the evening?
Plan? We have to.
We can
We have to
plan.
return.
We can plan over breakfast.
No, you go and play. I will sit here and think.
Hayes, you're up for this, right?
She nods. Oh, they nod.
Bunk, if your brother's not going to play, are you going to have something against playing this as well, or?
No. When my brother and I used to live in the tavern, we used to play all these games all the time. Unfortunately, it seems that my brother, since he left, has had a bit of personality transplant into a rather boring fart.
It does feel that way, doesn't it? Yes.
Come on, Tom, can be fun.
Surely, Mr. Tree, you're up for this, right?
The tree puts out his little leaf wallet, and he's just got like a few bronze coins in there, and goes, "I think I've got to sort some other things out." Then puts it back in his pocket.
I can pay your ante for the time being, if you wish. If you wanted to take part.
So are we playing at beginner's stakes, or are we playing a real game?
Maybe we should start with beginner's stakes.
Let's call it a silver per player to buy in.
So I put in 2 silver.
Yeah, I put it silver.
You see, Yinya's Mara reached into her pocket and she puts a silver in the middle of the table as well.
It's basically most of my money, though, so just to warn you. I'm doing a couple. I've got some valuable things that I need to sell, but I haven't got around to selling them yet.
Kays, you're paying in as well, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. In which case, the prize pool begins at 5 silver pieces. Ninya's Mara hands each of you a D6 and tells you can hide them beneath your mugs. And you can each secretly roll for me a d6. You should, just above the text chat window at the bottom, you should be able to click the button that says self-roll, which will keep your rolls entirely secret, even from myself.
Do you have to write double d6, or is there a dice you can do for it?
Slash
no,
R
slash
1d6,
R
isn't
1d6, yeah.
Wait, so how do I make it hidden?
There's like a little picture of a person that says self-roll.
Above the chat box, yeah.
Yeah.
Slash R1d6, right?
Yeah.
Not roll.
I think either
Slash
will
roll
work,
works
but
as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And no one else can see what I rolled.
Nope.
Nope.
Even I
Okay.
can't see what anyone else rolled. So you see Yinya's mare looks under her cup and she looks at her die. And she says, "So, I guess the easiest place to start is..."
Me. And
Wow.
Winterberry kind of like jump up really excited.
"Okay, sir. Do you..."
I raise. Go, then look at Ufrid. Because he's got to pay my money. Me.
I pass you a silver.
I pull it in. And he's all jumping up and down.
Okay. And so she looks around at the rest of the group and says, "Well, I guess I'm in." And she puts another silver into the middle.
Remind me of the rules again.
We will keep adding more and more dice until somebody wants to call, at which point the combined total of each player's rolls, the highest
The
combined
most
total
wins.
will win, yeah. I will have to trust you to be honest about your rolls, but...
Fine, I will play one more.
Wonderful. Case?
Oh, it just goes up quick, doesn't it?
What would you like to do, Case? Cormac?
Oh, my mute key stopped working. I add another silver.
You're adding another. Ufrid?
I've already done it.
Wonderful. So the pool sits at 10 silver, in which case she passes the d8s round to each of you. Let us continue.
Oh, we roll again if it gets raised as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
Your total is now the combination of your d8 and your d6.
Quite a nice little idea of a game, actually, because every single time you keep going, the odds become harder to predict. Like the distribution is wider.
You see, she looks under her mug and she grimaces a little. She goes, "Well, I think I know when I am eliminated. I fold." You were eager to lead us last time, Winterberry.
Oh, cool.
You wish to call. So be it. She goes, "As I folded," and she lifts up her mug and reveals the D6 has a 4 and the D8 also has a 4. An 8 is not a very admirable score. Does anybody wish to raise?
Your 8 is average.
Anybody wish to raise a Winterberry's call?
No.
So how does it work? Sorry, because you're raiding, So because it's a call, we will either reveal or we start paying another copper in like last time and add another dice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if basically once someone calls, you can either raise it, in which case Winterbay will also have to match that, or fold. Like he would have to fold. So you either have to raise it or accept the call.
Yeah, and raising it would be everyone puts another dice in.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I
I
fold?
put another dice in.
You're going to put another one in.
Yeah.
Case.
How do I fold without saying fold?
Reveal your dice, I guess.
Okay.
What was your total, Case?
Wait, give me a second. Let me add it up.
You just say they're 2 dice numbers.
5.
Oh, what, across both rolls?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, folding seems fine. So, yeah, Bunk is raising Ufrid.
Yeah, I'm still in. I guess I have to pay the extra silver.
I look at Ufrid to see if it paid my silver as well.
I do.
Yeah, I'll stay in if Ufrid pays my silver.
13 silver remains. You each get given a d10.
Oof.
And she turns to Ufrid. Not much of a gambler's face on you, sir.
It's not. I don't normally gamble. I'll be honest. It's not really my kind of thing. But I'm trying to try new things in life. You know.
Winterberry jumps up happily. Really happily.
Something tells me they've not gambled much before either.
Jumps up.
I'm not sure Winterbury existed much before now.
I just look nervous because currently I've paid in a third of my total worldly coins.
Winterberry,
And I'm really hoping.
you appear to be leading this game.
Ooh. I kind of look at Ufrid that I want to put more silver in, but I will kind of wait. He'll like go. But he's kind of like gone really excited compared to the second dice roll.
Ufrid?
Oh, I feel like we're all in on this at this point. I'll raise.
Is you putting 2 silver in, then, are you?
If you're carrying on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think Winterberry is actually having this conversation constantly.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it?
You can do it.
Bunk?
How many more rounds are there?
The
This
next
is one more.
would be a D12, and that would be the final one. At which point it would be whoever's
Okay.
rolled highest.
Fine. Yeah, I'll pay.
Okay.
I mean, we're literally going to win money from each other at this point. This is
Yeah.
We're going to be 1 silver
Yeah, but
extra.
I don't really know you guys particularly well.
true.
So,
16
You might not make
silver. Your fate lies on this last roll, apparently, friends.
I put out some sort of weird drink in my pouch and grab it and hope for some luck. That was no idea fucking how. Oh, it's going so well until then.
Ufrid, shall we begin with you? Your total?
Oh, we can do. I mean, I'm happy to. I'm not sure. I feel like I want to build some suspense.
Yeah, how about we reveal our first dice first and do it that way?
Oh, it's splendid alternative to the standard rules.
Winterberry will pull a 5 out as his 6d6.
Ufrid?
I'll put out 3. Oh, yeah, sure.
And Uthrid pulls out 6.
Well, two of you are ahead currently, it would seem.
Oh, it goes downhill from here. Don't you worry.
Well, yeah.
His Winterberry's next was a 3.
Mine was a 6.
Ooh.
Mine was a 2.
So,
Ooh.
So I'm at 8.
I'm at 9.
I'm on 11.
What?
And then
Hmm?
I got a
Does
5.
5 and 3 make 11?
Oh, 8, sorry.
Yeah.
8.
The
Okay.
problem is what I rolled on my d12. Fucking hell.
Winterberry will happily jump and pull a 9 out as his
Oh.
d10.
Ooh.
I pulled an 8.
17.
I pull a
17.
I pull another 2.
So we have 2 on 17
10.
and a 10. Well,
It's no good
Yeah.
though, because unless Winterberry also rolled a 1.
I rolled a 3. I'm on 20 overall.
Yeah, I rolled a 1. I've got to go in 1 second.
no worries. Ufrid, it's not impossible.
I reveal an 11.
Ooh!
Putting me at 21. That's blackjack, baby!
Well, it appears paying for your friend has paid off well. 16
Oh, yes.
silver. Ufrid.
I've won back 10 of my own silver. How exciting.
I was hoping you weren't doing the maths on that bit. But it's still a profit.
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 of your silver, so that's exciting.
Very, very well played. And I must say, Ufrid, very well bluffed.
Hey.
She
I got
stops
people
and she then just looks around all 4 of you that were taking part, and she says, which one of you was dishonest with your roles? Anybody want to own up?
Sorry, I had to jump out a second. What's happened since I lost?
Yinya's
last
Mara
round.
has now just looked round the table at the 4 of you that played and has asked which one of you was dishonest about their roles and who would like to own up.
Honest. Did we just show the rules?
There are ways to manipulate the dice if you know what you're doing.
Oh,
Anybody?
not me. But what I do is put up a slip of paper on the thing that I thought was lucky that I robbed. I just write little notes as unlucky and just tie that to it. Just to remember for next time.
Nice. She slowly, her eyes go around all 4 of you, looking to see if anyone wants to own up to their dishonesty.
Who was dishonest?
Perhaps none of you. Let it be a warning. As much as I enjoy this game, some of the other players here in the tavern are not to be trusted. I suggest if you're to stay with us for some time, you are very careful about who you choose to play with, or at least make sure you're keeping a close eye on them.
Makes sense.
And she sort of slams her hand down the table and she says, right, I'm going to leave one of the other boys in charge. I'm heading into town. Even after a few years of taking things easy here, running the bar, I kind of fancy my hand at the flume fighting.
Flume fighting? What?
Well, Claude, half-orc, runs one of the lumber yards. Between you and me, back in the day, he was quite the gladiator, a warrior, took part in the fighting pits in Estabrook. And he, as part of the celebrations each year, likes to run what he calls the flume fights, a mix of athleticism, acrobatics, and strength as you tussle in a gladiatorial battle whilst balanced atop one of the logs on the flume with an opponent. Last year I second place, and I think I can go one better this time.
Well, that sounds exciting. When's that happening?
Be starting any minute now. If you guys want to come over, I'll introduce you to old Claude.
Was Claude the half-orc that I ran into on the road? I got a name from them, didn't I?
It was indeed.
It was. Okay, well, maybe I believe I've met this Claude before.
If you'd met Claude, you wouldn't have forgotten him.
I'm sure
Very
that's the name that
scarred.
they gave me.
Tattoo across the shoulder blades.
Yes, that's the one. Bad taste in music.
Well, just between you and me, don't ask about the scars. He doesn't like to talk about his time as a gladiator.
Makes sense. It's general good practice and good manners to do so. So I think that's fair.
Come on then. And she looks over at Orin and says, even old spoil sport here, you'll be coming, right?
I think I have better things to do.
Oh, Orin, come on. You're the best fighter we've got.
I need to spend some time in prayer and meditation before
What?
tomorrow's.
Do that once we go to bed. You got time.
What time is it? What time is it, Sam?
Just before 7:30.
See, tons of time.
Question, Sam. If I want to try and learn potions I've got, how long does that take?
What? Learn ones that you've got how to craft them.
Yeah, and the identifying ones that are in my bag.
I will double check on it for a minute. I think it's a downtime activity, but I could be wrong. I will find out for you and come back to you shortly.
My answer: if it takes a while, I'll stay here. If it doesn't take a while, I will go.
Okay, in that case, give me one moment then to find out for certain. Let me read through this.
I've got a feeling it takes a while to learn how to make it.
I think it
I don't
depends
think it's
on the
quick.
rarity of it, actually.
Winterberry won't know how rare it is, so he will stay here with Orin if he doesn't go, and in the room and learn these liquids.
Yeah, Orin's going to stay, I think.
Oh.
I'm going to stay with Orin anyway, Sam, so you can find out later, and I'll learn these liquids while I'm with
Cool.
him.
All right, okay. I will find a definitive answer shortly.
I'm back. Sorry.
I'm back.
So Winterberry and Orin are going to stay here, are they?
Yep.
What's happened? Where are we going?
Well, Yinya's Mara has told the rest of the party that she's going to take part in the Flume fights, which are a gladiatorial challenge run as part of the festival by Claught Hengus, a half-orc who works at one of the lumber yards.
Happening right now. Sorry, I missed that part. That was happening right now.
Yes.
I'm not a fluid fighter. I might come and watch. Like, can I watch? Is there?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It's quite a spectacle. A lot of the town will probably be there to sort of take it in.
Who's going there?
Oh, okay.
Orin and Winterberry want to stay back currently.
Who's Orange? Sorry. Oh, Tom. Sorry.
Case.
Brother, come on. It sounds like fun. Have you ever been to a fluid fight before?
Today was stressful, and I feel I need to meditate on what we did and what we can do better.
Meditate. Or you can come to a flume fight, and what even is that? I don't even know what it is, but it's gonna be cool because it sounds cool, doesn't it? A flume fight, sort of.
You could stay and meditate with me, brother.
Flume.
We could feel the warmth of Lathander's attention. Sounds creepy.
That sounds boring as shit as well.
Go on, you can pray at a flume fight. I'm sure they won't mind.
Yeah, great idea. Why don't you use watching it as a sort of meditation in itself? You could turn off your brain to anything but the flume fight.
If it helps convince you, by the time we're done there, as we come back through town, we'll probably be in time for the speeches.
The speeches.
And she tells you, yeah, it's tradition. It's as part of the first celebration of the Founders Festival. The candidates for the mayoral elections will all be giving speeches about their why they should be the best choice. I've even been told that there's Morlabints put together a small theatrical production.
I mean, I feel like we've got to go at this point.
Do you think? No, staying and meditating is the right thing to do.
No, the right thing to do would have been to play that game that I forgot the name of, Osprey's Dice, or whatever it's called. What was it called?
Would it,
It's Osprey's
Osprey's
Dice, wasn't it?
Roll.
would it perhaps have not been quicker, brother, to just give the 4 silver pieces straight to Uthred?
Yes, because we all know, brother, that the key to life is to speedrun as fast as possible. Perhaps you'd rather that, so you can go off and live with your god afterwards. But some of us want to enjoy it, and I can't think of any better way right now than enjoying it than going to a bloom fight, whatever the hell that is.
Be careful, brother.
What if we get ambushed whilst we're there and you're not there to protect us, Oren?
Excellent point.
Then perhaps you should not go.
But we have to go. It's our calling. I'm sure you, as a man of the faith, understand that more than anyone.
Yes.
When your calling is presented, you must answer it. And I don't know. I worry what we might do. We might lose you.
I will be here in the room meditating.
I
My
think
mind is made up. Go and enjoy your frivolity.
I start to sing Oren a beautiful song with bagpipe accompaniment about why he should come with us, and I periodically turn invisible as I do so.
Literally can't see you.
Yeah, but my cat sings as well, and you can see my cat. So
Right, go on. Off you go.
Yinya's Mara sort of rolls her eyes and she gets to her feet and calls over to one of the slightly shady looking gentlemen at the other table and tells them, "You're in charge while I'm gone. Make sure this one doesn't get out of hand." And she sort of smiles in Oren's direction.
Just show us where our room is.
She tosses down a small silver key onto the table and tells you, "Top of the stairs, second door on the left. Stay out of trouble, Tunk."
Oren.
He's not Tunk at the moment. He's being Oren. He used to be more Tunk.
get that on a t-shirt. Be more Tunk.
She leads the Winterberry, are you still staying with Tunk?
Yeah, I'm staying with Tunk. I'm gonna learn these potions I've got and find out what they are.
Cool. Alright, I'll resolve that shortly, I guess. So Union's Mara leads the other 3 members of your party across town, and actually up the hill and up towards the large flumes, the log flumes that you saw as you sort of headed into town previously. As you get there, there's a relatively decent crowd there, and you can see as you arrive there are already two combatants taking part in the first round of the flume fights. You can see there are 2 of them. They are stood, each of them on top of a log, sort of on the flume. Both at the bottom end of the flume, so not travelling down the flume, but still having a sort of balance on these two long tree logs. And they have long sticks with some padded bits at the end, either end, which they are using to sort of push and poke at each other, trying to sort of knock each other off, it seems. There's quite a lot of cheering going on. And then eventually, boom, one of them ducks under as one goes for a swing and then just takes out the legs of the other, who falls into the waters of the flume. And a great cheer goes up. And you then see, Ufrid, you recognise Claught, the half-orc who sort of welcomed you to town earlier today, calls out and goes, we got a winner in the first round! So, who's up next? And Yinya's Mara puts her hand up and says, I took second place last year. This year, I will be champion. And she sort of steps up, and you see she begins sort of getting ready to climb into the sort of over onto other logs. And Claught looks around and says, see a lot of failures around here. Who fancies their chances against Yinya's Mara? He looks around. You can see there's a few people that are already sort of wet, and you assume they've lost. You can see just stood over to the side. There's a couple of that sort of stood over. It looks like they are sort of they are people who've already won the first round of their own sort of combats. And Claught looks around and notices you, Ufrid, and says, my friend, we met this morning. Presumably you'll be keen to take part?
Well, we did meet, yes. Strangely enough, not sure this is really my kind of competition. I'll be entirely honest with you, but there may be someone among our group that it might be. I'm not sure.
Any takers?
I mean, I suppose I'm relatively nimble, but I don't think I'm really one for hitting. Doesn't tend to be my go-to.
Perhaps one of your companions. And he looks over at Bunk and Kays. There's no cost to take part except for your dignity if you are shown up. However, there is a prize for the winners.
I mean, out of the three of us here, Hayes is the only actual fighter, right?
Yep.
Fancy your chances, Kays?
I'd say I'll turn to Hayes and I go, Hayes, how do you feel about a little bit of a competition?
You can hear from the sort of talk going around. There are 10 gold pieces for whoever happens to win this competition.
How much is to enter?
There's no cost except for your potential loss of dignity.
Oh, I do quite value my dignity, actually.
Case?
Is it only me?
Ufrid does not seem keen. Bunk seems unsure.
I don't know.
It's a great opportunity for an athletic, acrobatic fighter.
I guess they nod their head.
Wonderful! And you can see Claught sort of ushers you over, and as you sort of head over, Yinya's Mara smiles and goes, you've been quiet so far, but maybe not when I knock you off into the water. She seems quite sort of... She's not being aggressive, but she's being sort of quite playful with you. She seems sort of quite keen to challenge you on it. Yeah, you make your way up onto your log in the log flume. Can I get for you, Kays, to work out if you get to act before or after Yinya's Mara, a initiative perception roll?
There's no active encounter.
Hey?
There is no active encounter.
Yeah, just make a standard perception roll. Sorry.
Oh, never mind then.
Oh, your dice are all still on private from previously. You guys can switch back to public rolls if you want.
It was an 8.
It was an 8. I'll trust you on that. which actually does put you with not a shocking chance of beating hers. 1 sec.
Can I'm on the sideline, right?
Yeah.
Can I help to inspire my Kitsune friend with a bit of an
Outrageous
anthem?
performance.
I'm gonna play a lute only cover of Fox on the Run. Obviously not buffing Yin whatchamacallit.
Just on
But
gaze.
if I can get away with it, if no one seems too phased by it, it's not openly magical or anything, so you know.
Okay.
Well, it is
Case.
a bit. But...
This will essentially this will take part or take place as if it's a combat. So you'll alternate turns against your opponent. You'll get 3 actions, but the first action on your turn will always have to be an acrobatics check to keep your balance on the log. If you fail the acrobatics check, you become flat-footed. If you critically fail, you just fall off and you lose the competition.
Acrobatic.
Yeah, so the very first thing, in fact, what I think I can even, 1 sec, I believe I can make this pop up for you. Where are we? There you go. A DC 20 acrobatics check.
Oh god. Okay.
You're balancing on a log.
Oh.
You
Can I use a hero point?
You have got hero points.
That's very Cormac, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on brand.
That's still lose. Okay.
It is a failure, but it just means you're off guard. You're flat-footed. So yeah, you have two actions left on your turn. You can make unarmed attacks against your opponent to try and weaken them or knock them off, or you can do anything else you want to do. If you want to try and you can demoralize, you can feint first, whatever you want to do, I guess.
Can I feint them?
Yeah, totally.
How do I do that? Being out of combat.
You should be able to just do it on the basic actions macro, I think. Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, you're all right. You're all right. That's not terrible. Don't forget you haven't got the comparison whether it's a success or not here. So you initially you slightly lose your balance a little, but as you do, you're able to actually throw her off guard, and you also make her off guard to you. If you want to make an unarmed attack as your last action, see if you can knock her over. You can certainly try.
Do I get panache?
Oh, yeah, I think you probably do.
Okay. Can I finish her then?
Sure.
Is it possible to finish your unarmed attack?
That's a good question. Confident finisher. Yeah?
Sick.
Yeah, I don't say anything that says you cannot.
Your
precise strike won't work, but your finisher will.
Apparently already... Right. Hold on. Is that just going to do it?
Should just be able to pick unarmed attack strike.
Okay. Oh, I must have a target before I attack.
Okay. Alright, 1 sec. I can make this a little easier. Let's go on to here, and you can just target that little goblin who I use for testing. It's taken a lot of damage.
You don't have a predetermined log setup ready for this?
No,
what?
I'm sorry. I know. I didn't know what games you'd want to play at the festival.
All of them.
Well, not many for some people.
Yeah, God. Bloody paladins.
Oh, case. Considering that she's also off guard, that is actually a 26, and that is a critical success.
Yeah.
So yeah, you initially lose your balance a little. You manage to use that to your advantage to make her sort of lose her sort of track on you a little, and then you just immediately just go in with a clean strike at the legs, and knock her off. And on the very first attempt of the match, you knock off last year's second place in the flume fighting tournament. And immediately a cheer goes up from the crowd.
Don't
In fact,
cheer. That means
that is
the
even
points for
more
our
of a
rooms
crit
can
hit.
go
I
up.
forgot you also got +1 from Ufrid.
Oh god, our rooms are going to cost so much money now.
Right, we already paid.
Case, yeah, there is a loud cheer from the crowd. You can hear the rest of you that are watching. You can hear there's a few murmurs of like surprise. It's like Yinya's Mera came second last year. She only just missed winning last year. This is an upset. This is a oh, you're the wrong animal. I was gonna say underdog. This is an underfox story right now. But yeah, impressive. Kays, you're ushered to hop back off, and as you do, Yinya's Mera pulls herself out from the flume. You can see she is like soaking wet. It's like a spring evening, so it's pretty cold. She doesn't look very happy, and she immediately storms over to you, Kays, comes up alongside you, grabs you and pulls you by the wrist to turn you around. She goes, "That was amazing." And she smiles at you, and she slaps you on the back, and the sort of water off her clothing sort of splashes onto you as she does. And she goes, "You are amazing. You can win this." And you step back as two of the participants from one of the other rounds now step up and take their round, and these two go back for a few. They stay up there for almost 45 seconds between the two of them, sort of balancing, dodging each other's before one of them, a human, manages to knock over a dwarven male. At which point, your second round opponent, Kays, steps up. The half orc Claut Hengus. Across his back, you can see the words the lumberjacker tattooed. His body's covered with like scars from his gladiatorial past, which Yinya's Mera told you about. And she comes up alongside you, Kays, and she whispers in your ear. She goes, "He's the one that beat me. He's good. You'll be fine. You'll be fine." And then she gestures for you to go up. You climb back up onto your log again. And Claude looks over you and goes, "It's pretty impressive, New. Pretty impressive. Sorry, I'm going to have to embarrass you. It's nothing personal." And you can see he takes this seriously, but he's not aggressive with it. This is a bit of fun for the locals, but he's clearly not going to pull his punches. He's pretty serious about this. Make another perception check for me for your initiative in this particular round.
Oh. Whatever.
Well, it's a roll. You are first again, to be fair.
Yeah.
By the smallest of margins, but you are first. Yeah, so the very first thing, I guess, Kays, will be to get you to make that acrobatics check for me again. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, you've learnt from last time, Kays. So as this second round starts, you've got a bit of a better feel for the way the log sort of moves and floats in the water. You have two actions. What would you like to do?
Don't I have something that... Hold on. Give me a second.
By all means.
Where would my... Like... Do I have demoralize? Is demoralize like? Oh, what's the thing that
It's
I
an
have?
action.
There's something that I have because of my, like, Kitsune thing.
Intimidating glare?
I think it's some. I don't know. What was it? Hold on.
you've got a disarming flare when you disarm someone. You could certainly try and disarm him.
There was the thing from the heretic I picked, wasn't there? That made it so I had a different demoralize. Or something, I'm pretty sure. I might just do that.
Oh yeah, you've got the that's a reaction.
Oh, never mind then.
When you or someone around you becomes frightened, that is a reaction you can use.
Oh, okay. What is classed as a feint?
It's just a way of distracting. You can decide what it is. I guess the obvious is some kind of movement to sort of send them one way and you go the other, or something like that. But anything really that kind of distracts them and just sort of puts them off guard to you.
Will I be able to distract him by pointing out the scars?
Ooh, sure, go for it.
Okay. Kay's like whispers so no one else can hear. They whisper, "How do you get those scars?" And then does a poke at them.
Oh,
Kays, you have gone in and made this personal. This was supposed to be a bit of fun.
Okay.
great.
Bear in mind, this goblin does have the right stats, so that is not a critical success. It is only a success. But yeah, you immediately you sort of point over and you whisper at him. The rest of you can't really see what's going on. You just see Kay sort of balancing, leans in slightly, and then you see Clawt's face changes. Clawt is serious all of a sudden, but also kind of taken. You can see he's kind of surprised that somebody's just gone, and whatever's just happened is like taking him by surprise. Yeah, you have your second action, Case, or third action, I guess. He is off guard to you.
I gain panache as well, right?
You do. That's a hit. Do you want to roll your damage for me, quick? Nice. So yeah, you guys see as Kays is sort of balancing, leans in, something in Clawt's face changes, and before Clawt can react properly, Kays just immediately jabs with the stick and the weapon they're using, and you see Clawt sort of rolls back a little, and the crowd immediately like, and Clawt just about keeps his balance, catches his balance back. It is Clawt's turn, Kays. Clawt will begin by making his own acrobatics check. So yeah, you knock Clawt back and he sort of loses balance, and then he swings back with a amazing bit of balance, pulls back immediately, and as soon as he sort of swings back, he just comes straight back with just an uppercut with the weapon towards UK's. I didn't think this bit through. I'm going to use this goblin again and just... I know what the actual stats are supposed to be. I've written them down, not actually made a character. That was clever. What's your AC again? You're 17, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hits you and is one off it being a critical hit, unfortunately.
Oh, right.
But yeah, comes back and gets a really clean hit on you. Roll some damage on that. Yeah, put 6 damage through on UK's.
All your dice are still self rolls, by the way.
Oh, are they?
Purpose.
Cool. I have put that back now. Oh, my dice will be anyway. Like they always are normally, I think. Yeah. Then you can see, so he rolls back, takes that first swing at Kay's, and then immediately, without pausing, just comes back again with the other end of the stick and just tries to do it again. And you can see actually, to those of you that are looking on, there's a actual. This is like you can see this has gotten serious. Claw is not holding back. That second one swings over and just misses you as it comes in, Kay's. At the start of your turn, I'll get another acrobatics check from you. Ooh, you sort of reeling as you dodge. It just leaves you a little bit, so you are off guard.
Put him
Okay.
in a body bag.
She'll then they'll then whisper again, say, "Don't try too hard. You might open a wound," and then try and demoralize again.
Jesus Christ, Case.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't work, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's fine. I don't need it to work. I'm gonna try. Oh, damn it!
Yeah, and so again, you see something again. You see it looks like Kays leans in again, and then takes a swing, and this time Claude just pulls back, makes his acrobatics check. And again, just expertly stays up a balance. Comes back and swings back at you again, Kays. And misses. And after the... Oh, you're off guard, aren't you?
Yeah.
That is actually a hit then in that case.
Oh, fun.
For 1 damage, Kays. So yeah, comes back, takes the swing at you again that time. And then this time, you hear he bellows something at Kays. The rest of you are looking on. Previously, this has been like a fun thing going on. And you can see there's been a bit of a change as these two have sort of gone back and forth. And then this time, he bellows and shouts out and goes, "You don't belong here!" And he will attempt to demoralize you, Kays.
Ooh. Am I not really flat-footed?
Yes, you are flat-footed. You are also now... that was a critical success.
Oh, right, okay.
You are now frightened 2, Kays.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? That means you get -2 to all your checks and DCs.
Great.
Means you get to use your reaction thing that you were talking about, don't you?
Oh, that is true, yeah. Yeah, what was your reaction thing?
I don't know.
A creature within
Invigorate
60 feet of
before.
you gains the frightened condition. You are invigorated by the shock of this person being frightened. You gain temporary hit points equal to the creature's level or 3, whichever is higher. You gain 3 temporary hit points if you want them.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go. In which case, it is your turn again, Kays. I'm going to briefly, or very quickly, give Ufrid a hero point for walking away with all that money in the little betting game we had. Kays, level DC 20 acrobatics again.
Oh no.
Yeah, and again you're off guard. The whatever he just shouted at you has kind of obviously left you a bit off balance and causes you to fail. You remain off guard.
I'm just going to go straight in with one then.
That is a crit hit. You can roll your critical damage.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, never mind.
Does 8 damage. So yeah, he screams in your face, Kays. You lose your balance a little, and then you come back, bang, with a perfect strike under the chin, and he... Oh! And he falls back, crashes into the water of the flume, and there is like a moment of silence, surprise, and then this roar of like cheering. Everyone's like kind of surprised, like somebody just beat Claude. Claude is a retired gladiator. Claude wins this every year.
Can I Oh,
Go on.
can I like put my hand out to, help him back up?
Yeah, by all means. You put a hand down, help caught up, and he looks up at you. And he puts the hand out and grabs your hand, and you're able to help pull him out. And you pull him up onto the onto the platform. And he has your hand still from where you pulled him out, and he pulls you in close, and he whispers into your ear, Kays, says, "Get the fuck out of town." And then he pushes you quite forcefully back and angrily stomps down to the ground. And there's a little bit of confusion. Everyone sees as he sort of pulled you aside there and then pushed you back. And everyone's sort of looking around a bit unsure. Everyone's sort of looking at Court, who's supposed to be organising this, has also never lost. And you can see he stops for a sec and he's sort of taking himself in. Then he goes, "Come on then, final round. Let's get this over with." There's like this. There's a bit of excitement amongst the crowd as Claw sort of says that the final round's about to begin. But there's also, you can tell there's almost a little bit of trepidation in the crowd. Like, they're clearly aware that something's not quite right. Claude is not happy. Maybe it's just because he lost. Who knows? Like, there's just a bit of a rather unsavoury vibe around all of a sudden. Case, this is the final round of the Flume fights. Make another perception check for me for your. You are not going first this round, Case. So our human here will make his acrobatics check. The dice do what the dice do. He stands alongside you, and maybe it's the atmosphere. Maybe he didn't expect to find himself in the final, not against Claw. I don't know, but he immediately goes to take a swing at you and just loses his balance. Critically fails the acrobatics check and falls into the water of the flume. And immediately the crowd start cheering. Claw immediately puts his hand into a pouch that's there, pulls out 10 gold coins and slams them down just next to your feet, Kays, on the platform. And immediately, just even as the crowd are sort of celebrating, shouting, sort of cheering, he quite quickly just calls out, he goes, "I'll see you all in town for the speeches." And immediately just walks off quite angrily. You see a couple of people sort of chase after him and sort of talking to him, and he not aggressively, but he just sort of pushes people away. He clearly doesn't want to talk. He's not very happy. Yinya's Mera comes over to Ufrid and Bunkwick and says, "I don't know what your friend just did to Claw. I've never seen him like that."
Yeah, he seems like quite a sore loser, doesn't he, Bunk?
Yeah, you say that.
Kays, as you're coming down, Yinya's Mera turns around to you and she goes, "That was really cool. That was really cool." Kays, did you take your 10 gold pieces, by the way?
Oh no, I forgot to.
You can have 10 gold pieces as the new champion of the Flume fights in Atari. Yinya's Mera says, "I think I need to get back to the bar and check things before the speeches, but I'll see you guys for the speeches, right?"
Sure.
And she dashes off, and the crowd slowly begins sort of filtering back. A few of the onlookers sort of come up to you, Kays, and congratulate you. A few of them sort of like they just seem quite excited by the fact that something's gone differently with the Flume fights. Claude wins this every year, hands down. And yeah, there's just a bit of excitement around it all, but the crowd sort of slowly dissipates and begins heading back to town. The three of you are left alone.
Well, I mean, That was impressive.
I forgot one major thing. I totally forgot one thing during that fight, Cormac. You do have a ring of danger sense.
Oh.
Each time you took damage, the ring loudly shouts, "Danger!"
Fine.
Good to know. Very good to know. Can we go find this merchant and just buy all of his shit? We've got 10 more gold to spend now.
Yeah, the
Amazing.
three of you are left alone at the just outside of the town. If there's anything you want to discuss, anything you want to do.
I want to ask the barkeep, Yin.
Yinya's Mera.
Which part's the first name? Was that the whole? Is it just one word?
That is her. Yeah.
It's like Madonna.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Yinya's Mirror about the speeches. Well, there's something we must see. We've had a very long day and we're quite tired, but if there's something we must see, then I can't pass up the opportunity of being in Atari for the speeches. But if they're just whatever, then
She tells you it's a good chance to get a feel for the town, but you know it can be a bit dry. It's kind of up to you guys.
I think it's bad for me.
Bunk's gonna head back.
But I'm actually tired of your life.
Ufrid and Kays?
I mean, there is a real part of me that wants to at least watch the speeches, because I feel like that's a big cultural thing of this place, and I'm not very familiar with it. But, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go watch.
What about you, Kays? What's your plan?
They nod.
Okay. So yeah, Bunk, you make your way back over to the Crook's Nook. The other two stop in the town square to take in these speeches. As you arrive there, you see there is the crowd sort of began gathering around that sort of makeshift stage that had been put up. I'm gonna have to start finding some art for these people. Yeah, so the crowd sort of goes quiet as a late middle-aged human male takes to the stage, and you hear Yinya's Mera has come back and has met with you two again, with Ufrid and Kays, and she whispers to the two of you. She goes, "That's Mayor Osif. He's the mayor of the town. He also runs Otari Lumber." And he quickly speaks up and he sort of ushers the crowd to be quiet. And he says, welcome, welcome. I trust everyone has had a great evening. I hear there's been quite the upset at the flume fighting. I'm sure, Claude, you'll be telling us all about that at work tomorrow. Meanwhile, we will get on with the mayoral election speeches shortly, but I believe there are a few short announcements which would like to be made. Broda, are you nearby? And a female dwarf slowly sort of steps up onto this stage. She has a very plain looking face, slightly forlorn expression possibly. And she stands up on stage and she says, I know I bring it up every year, but I would just like to remind everyone that sorry, not every year. I know I've been bringing it up every day. But I know people keep telling me I'm wrong to be concerned, but Lasda is still missing, and I do not believe he wouldn't up and leave without telling his mother like that. I know, and you can see she almost sort of breaks down in tears. This is quite important to her, clearly. And she says, I know you'll tell me to stop worrying, and I know that people have stopped coming to drink in the bar because I'm not great company right now, but Lasda wouldn't do that. He wouldn't just up and leave me like that. He's my only son, and just please, if anybody knows anything, just please speak to me. I'm tired of being ignored. I'm tired of everyone being ashamed to talk to me. And there's this sort of awkward silence amongst the crowd. Mayor Osif comes back on stage, and he walks over and he pats Brelder on the shoulder. He says, "Our thoughts are with you, Brelder. I'm sure there was no harm, but a mother's concern is not something to be belittled or mocked." And she steps down. And then there is he then looks around. He goes, "Is Kilo here? Kilo had something he wished to speak about." He looks around a little, and then there is a male comes up on stage, and he comes up and he says, "Well, my problem's been going a little bit longer, I guess, and I suppose just like Brelder, you're all sick of hearing about it, but I'm tired, and I'm sorry to say this, Mayor, I'm tired of the lack of justice around here. Everybody in this town knows that Joel Mesmin killed my wife, and I'm tired of there being no serious action taken about it. Just because he's left town doesn't mean he gets to leave justice. So I've been putting together what I can afford. If Long Saddle won't do it, if the guard won't do it, then I'll see that justice is served myself. For whoever brings me Joel Mesmin's head, 300 gold pieces." And there is a murmur around the crowd. This is serious money. Yinya's Mara leans into two again. She whispers. She says, "It's not as simple as it sounds. Kilo's wife was killed by Yol. There's no doubt about it. But Yol's a complicated character. It's some people would like to argue if Yol physically might have killed her, but perhaps Yol wasn't at the reins. But we'll talk about that maybe somewhere a bit more private. Now's not the time." And the crowd carry on, you see, and the mayor comes back up and he sort of clears his throat and he says, "Just to be clear, Long Saddle does... he does a good job. The captain does a good job. We can't... Justice is not always a simple binary situation. Every case has its complications, and Kilo, I understand that you are personally connected and it's hard to see that, but a private bounty is a private bounty." Anyway, Captain Longsaddle, I believe, has his own announcement to make. And Captain Longsaddle comes up on the stage at this point. A very gruff-looking old man with a long, twirly, grey moustache. He comes up and he says, "Well, despite what Kilo might have you all think we are, the guard stays busy. We don't have much time for announcements, so I'll keep it simple. Outlaws have been waylaying travellers nearby with firearms, and I advise you watch yourselves out on the roads. And it concerns me to announce, but pirate activity has been increasing of late. Some of the lumber deliveries leaving the town have been attacked. If anybody knows anything about these pirates and where they're getting their information from, and what days the boats are leaving, and how they know the routes they'll be taking, the guard would be most appreciative. We can't match 300 gold pieces, but I'm a big believer that monetary value alone shouldn't be an incentive to do the right thing." Long Saddle just sort of nods at the mayor and steps down. And the mayor says, well, emotions are clearly a little high, but we have one last thing to take care of tonight. That is the mayoral election speeches. As you all know, I've been proud to serve you as your mayor for more than a decade now. But each year, as is the traditions of the town, we allow anybody to step up and allow their own voice to be heard and make their case for why they may be better suited to serve you, the citizens of Otari. Let me just start by first reminding you that my family have long seen to the economic affluence of the town. Otari Lumber has been here for nearly as long as the town itself, and we have provided you with work, with jobs, and with reliable jobs. There will be many that will always have their misgivings and uncertainties about how I or any leader goes about performing their roles, but I would like to think every one of you can look me in the eyes and say that I have done right by you whenever you have asked me to. I don't think I need to argue that any stronger. And he steps back. There's a bit of an air with Mayor Osif that he maybe takes this a little bit for granted. This is just like something he has to do. But he's been the mayor for more than 10 years. He seems pretty comfortable, and the speech is like professional but a little casual. Like he's not really truly invested. Doesn't feel like he really has to. The next person to step up is a human male, very tall, stands about 6'4", of late age, has really long, almost hip length, bedraggled green-blue hair. You can see his body is covered in tattoos. All look to have like a nautical theme about them. And he comes and stands up on stage, and he immediately begins rambling. He says, well, old Greenspoon, I've been in many distant fantastical lands. He's seen all sorts of things. I've never really been a leader, but I've always tried to do what was right by everyone that was with me in my sailing career, and now here, as you've all welcomed me into Atari. And he just begins rambling. You can see the crowd start switching off a little bit. Yinya's mayor again speaks to the two of you, Kays and Ufa, and she says, Greenspoon's an eccentric. When he's not drinking, he probably should be. It's best for everyone if he is. He's a character. But he puts good money in the tavern, I can tell you that much. And as she finishes up, Greenspoon's sort of speech comes to a finish, and there's a bit of sort of confused clapping around the crowd. This was less a speech and more of a tale of his career as a sailor. Not really sure what the relevancy is to that, to his role wanting to be mayor, but he seems quite sure that you all wanted to hear about his encounter with mermaids once upon a time, the best part of 30 years ago. Maybe that will convince someone to vote for him. Mayor Osif begins walking back on stage, and then he's interrupted by an angry shout. And you see there is a male stood to the other side of the stage, and you recognise him.
Oh.
This is the same blacksmith you guys encountered earlier on.
Oh.
And he steps up on stage and he says, no, Osif. Everyone gets their chance to put their case forward, and I'm going to be heard. My family, my lineage, is the reason this town is here. And Osif, you can see, sort of steps back and allows him to have the stage. And this man gets up and he says, for the locals, you'll know me. For anyone here to visit and be part of the festival over the next week, welcome to Otari. My name is Carmen Rajani. My ancestor Volrajani was a member of the Rose Guard. The Rose Guard are the same adventurers that founded this town. That doesn't give me the right to be mayor. That's not my argument. I don't stand here to tell you that I have any more claim to be mayor than any of you. But what I can tell you is what it's like to be a working man. I'm not rich and powerful like Joseph. But that's the difference. That means I understand. I can relate to all of you. Joseph is a good man. Sure. But he doesn't understand. And he points up to the hillsides outside of town where you can see a large manor house. He says, that's where Joseph lives, up there. Looking down on all of us, figuratively, and quite literally, it would seem. Me, I live in the back room of my business. That's where I've lived for years. And that's the same as it is for many of you. I know that. I understand the needs of the citizens. Osef can keep pretending that there are no problems in this town, but we all know financial hardships are hitting. They're hitting hard. The lumber companies, all of them, they're in far worse situation they want to tell us. Longsaddle comes up here and tells you that pirates are out there and they're causing problems for deliveries of lumber. That's not the only problems. The problems is lumber's available anywhere. In the past, the way this town operated, we were ahead of our time. We built the log flumes. We were able to make everything efficient, but times are moving on and this town isn't moving on. Osef doesn't want the town to move on because it benefits him to keep you all in this current state of perpetual sameness. I'm not asking for a revolution. I'm not asking to change everything overnight. I'm not telling you all that you'll get a house the size of Osif's. But I can tell you if we don't make changes, we're all doomed. This town will be doomed. And we'll pack up like we did in the past. The last time this town got abandoned. And we'll have to do it again. And I won't see that. My ancestor Vol is responsible for this town being here. And I will make it my responsibility to see that it stays here and thrives. Old man Osif, he needs a break. Like I say, Osif, it's not personal. Well, maybe it's a bit personal. That's it, I guess. It's a bit of an odd speech. Not well prepared. It feels like it's kind of off the cuff. But clearly this is somebody speaking their true feelings. And you can see a few of the crowd are sort of, there's a bit of head nodding and a bit of sort of, when he first stood up and shouted out quite angrily, interrupted Osif, there was almost a little bit of laughter and mocking around, but that's kind of gone away now, and the speech is kind of strangely quite excellent, actually, maybe. And Osif comes back up at that point, and he says, you can see Osif actually looks a little kind of taken aback by the strength of the argument, and he kind of seems a bit unsure of himself. He's, thank you, Carmen. My personal situation doesn't mean I can't understand how, and you see he's kind of just like struggling to make any kind of counter argument, but clearly isn't prepared and didn't come here to take this conversation seriously. And he cuts himself off and he says, it's been a long day for everybody, and we'll all be working fresh early tomorrow morning, obviously, as we always do. Perhaps it's best we call it a night, and in 7 days' time, we'll have the Founders' Day Festival, and good night, everyone. And there's the entire marketplace, the town square, is kind of left with this slight air of uncertainty. There's a bit of a vibe now, whereas previously this was just a formality. Osef seems a bit rocked, and the crowd seem a bit unsure as well. Yinya's Mera sort of says to the two of you, well, Perhaps angry old drunks can surprise anyone every now and again. Carmen's, I'd call him bitter, but that would be polite. Carmen's an arsehole. He's angry. He feels that he's owed something that's never been given to him. He constantly wants to tell you that his ancestor was one of the founders of the town, but that shouldn't matter. But then he constantly wants to tell you about it. And more than anything, he's just a dick to deal with. He's a dick. But he might not be wrong. There's definitely a few troubles going on with some of the lumber companies recently. And as she says that, she stops and she grabs your attention quickly and points over. There's just sat on the edge of the square. There's a very old man sat down in a chair. This guy looks like he is comfortably in his 80s, but very well dressed. Clearly has like some money behind him, and you can see he's sat and he's playing chess against another human male, a bit younger. But there are two people stood beside them as well. And Yinya's Maris points over at the two of them and goes, see, this is the thing that makes me a bit unsure recently. You see those two? And there are... She says to you, that one there, the Tengu, that's Kepler Credence. And then she, the dwarf, she's Cairo Cried. The two of them turned up in town no more than 10 days ago. They've been poking their nose all around the place. They've been coming into the tavern, asking all sorts of strange questions, all about Mr. Churtle over there. That old man, he owns one of the lumber companies. They turned up, kept asking questions, and then they just seem to be spending all their time round him. Never see them talk to him, never see him talk to them, but they're always nearby every time I've seen him recently. Makes you kind of suspicious.
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
It's no... Let's walk and talk.
Yeah, why not?
And you begin sort of heading out, because you're not far from the Crook's Nook. You sort of head back as she's talking to you. You make your way back into the tavern, and she says to you, it's no big secret. I'm sure somebody will have warned you by now. You know, the sign says it. This is the Crook's Nook. We are a group of concerned citizens, I suppose you could say. Some would call us thieves, but we don't steal from the locals. But anyone that's maybe making their way through town decides to spend the night here or just anywhere in town might just find their pocket a little light as they leave. But theft is when you take it for yourself. We like to put it back into the pockets of some of the other locals around town. The town needs it, and frankly the people need it more. You seem like decent people though, so fine. And she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out she pulls out a pouch and pulls out a few coins, and she counts and she goes 2 silver. That was the cost of your room, right? And she hands it to you, Rufrid, and she says feels like you guys are here to help as well. So the room's on the Osprey Club. Now, word gets round to me that you were out at Gauntlet this afternoon. Is that right?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Something fishy going on up there.
What's your business there?
Checking it out. Something's not right, apparently.
Three of my boys went out there a week ago. Able hands. They're not idiots. They know how to keep themselves out of trouble. They've been doing this long enough. If you can find them, then I'll see that you're fairly rewarded.
I look awkwardly at the rapier on my hip. She doesn't seem openly to recognise it or anything.
No.
Okay, that's all right then. Yeah, I mean, I think we're probably heading back there in the morning, so we'd certainly be able to keep an eye out for them.
Okay. Well, as long as you're doing right by the town, then the room for you and your friends is on us.
We appreciate that. That's generous, but we are more than happy to pay for the room. It's for the town, you know.
There's no need. Just if you got the spare silver going to pay for the room, then put it into some of the local businesses. They could use it.
We can do that. So, you say you sent 3 of your fellas up to the Gauntlet. Why? What were they doing?
For the same reason you are, clearly.
Just having a look around?
Just having a look around.
Blue light that turns everyone's faces upside down.
She says, and what particular item are you just looking around for? Or are you just here to see what's been left?
Now, I feel like Uthrid may know what he's there looking for, but Jake, being the scrambled dumbfuck brain, can't actually remember.
You guys haven't been told you're there looking for any particular
Okay,
item. Then.
nothing in... Okay. Yeah, nothing in particular. We're just a few, bit of concern about what's going on up there. Apparently there's some weird light that turns your face upside down and makes you invisible, and that's a problem, apparently. So we said we'd have a look.
I'll tell you what. Get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow morning, breakfast's on me, and I'll tell you and your friends what nobody else wants to tell you about Gauntlet.
Deal.
That's where I end the session. Although, I will quickly answer a couple of questions Shane had, I guess. So, Shane, you wanted to... So, I guess, first of all, everyone can take themselves a night's rest.
How does one do that?
Which
The
is
bed, yeah.
the bed, right?
Yes, yeah.
Done.
If you have...
When I do that, Sam, do I pick my my potions at that point?
Yeah, I was about to say, so anyone that's got daily preparations will do them, yeah. So I'll resolve your learning for you quick. So you wanted to learn some of the things you...
Unusual liquids or the skeptical elixir. Well, I probably want to go through the unusual liquids to find out what they are.
So the unusual liquids, you would have to try and identify them first, but you've got plenty of time while these guys have been out doing their stuff. So there you go. There is an alchemy check there in the chat. If you want to click that, we'll see if you're able to identify this unusual liquid. Unfortunately not for that one. You could try again tomorrow. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've got hero points to burn. Jake didn't give his warning out, so everyone forgot.
Oh, well, I've yet again got to the end of a session. This is 3 out of 3 sessions, and I've got 2 fucking hero points sat there and haven't rolled a dice in an hour and a half.
Nice. You are able to identify this as a comprehension elixir. And then you was trying to identify the other one you've got as well, I assume.
Yeah.
There you go. There's also a check for that one. Nice, a success. Yeah, and the other elixir you have is a dark vision elixir.
Nice.
Now, how do I learn to make them?
So, learning to make them. If they are common rarity and of your level or lower, you can just learn them immediately. If not, you'll have to do it as a downtime thing to try and learn them, which will take basically the best part of a day to do. Let me just check the rarity on each of these. So that, so currently they're both level 2 potions. They're above your levels. You can't just immediately learn them. Those two.
I'm guessing the other one as well. Yeah, I'll just keep holding them until I level up them.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool. So yeah, we'll pick up next morning, next session. If anyone has
question as well.
What's that? Sorry.
I have a question as well.
Yeah.
Sort of. It's actually a minor request to homebrew.
Okay.
So Talisman Dabbler says that I can only prepare talismans which are no more than half of my level. However, I'm level 1.
Level rounded up. Let's do that.
Oh, great.
I don't think it's worded that way. Most things are that way, but let's say that. Yeah.
One thing I could say is that I can actually prepare 2 talismans. So we could say for level 1 I should prepare 1, which is equivalent to 0.5 level.
Yeah.
It's slightly overpowered, but I mean, come on, we almost died like many times already. So.
You need all the help you can get, right?
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. If anyone has any daily preparation stuff, they can do it now, or they can do it at the start of next session. It's entirely up to you.
I like
do mine at the start of the next session.
Yeah, that's cool.
I liked the chat.
I would like to
said made no changes, and you probably didn't need to know about it really. That made me chuckle.
I'd like to invest in the channel protection amulet. Is that just a matter of studying it, spending some time with it?
Yeah. Investing and stuff. Yeah, there's nothing, no checks or anything involved. You can just invest in. You can invest in up to 10 items at a time. So you can have a lot of magic items.
I have now clicked that button.
Nice.
I'd like to give you something, brother.
What?
But we'll do it in character.
Okay.
Next week. Just remind me that I want to give. I might forget.
I will
also remind me.
I will remind you.
Cool. Thank you.
Congratulations to our champion of the log flume, apparently. Although that was
amazing.
That's horrible.
You fucking psycho.
Yeah. Way to make friends.
Yeah, I hope that guy didn't have anything important to tell us.
I hope not.
Thank you very much for session. That was absolutely fantastic.